and drag you down. Come down. Lovely. Right. Who shall I use? Frank, can I use you? No, that's fine. You're all right. You scruffy thing. I just want to kind of follow on from what we were doing yesterday and previous over the last week. You're right there. We were doing laps exercise first of all, and the reason for laps exercise is because I want to focus on the bong, and the bong has got three parts to it. You've got the bong, the turn, and the guard, and the guard is really important. And one of the reasons why I wanted to focus on the guard is because there's an awful lot of people kind of letting this drop. And so a quick sort of recap on this. The problem with a guard being relaxed means that before you can use it, it's got to get back to where it should have been initially. So we get that kind of small chambering of the technique before you get to do anything. So that's not a good thing. We looked at different ways of using bong as well. You know, we can, in laps exercise, we're not teaching ourselves to lap, regardless of what the name might imply. You're teaching yourself how to react from a lap, and that you will do 5 things. You're going to learn to attack, to defend. If you use the bong, you will turn. You'll use the bong, you'll turn, and you'll turn the correct way. So these are all the kind of points in lap style. On the bong though, focusing more on this for a moment, a few things that we can have is eyes closed, and we have this sensitivity awareness. So just keeping a contact with this. If I move out, he follows that. If I press in, he goes with it. He doesn't resist on this. If I suddenly let go, he's going to fire out. You've all done this, I think, really. So nice and relaxed, keeping the elbow up, because that would be the most important thing. If you don't have the elbow up in a bong, it ain't a bong. It's not going to work. So we have this sensitivity, this awareness of forwards and backwards. If I stop, he stops. If I move, he moves, and so on. We were then working on keeping a pressure with this. So you're going to push on the bong. So we've got a kind of pressure. Now if he moves to either side, if he directs that pressure to one side or the other, then I'm going to move with it. So again, he's pushing. If it turns, then I'm going to move with it. I'm going to allow this to switch off. So then I've got a choice. Now I can be doing this defensively, where I'm just waiting to see him push. If we were rolling in Chi Sau, he'd have to be pushing every time and pushing and pushing. If he then went to a particular side, then obviously I could react accordingly. If he isn't pushing, then I need to not use this defensively, but try and use it aggressively. And I can use this by striking with an elbow. So I'm giving him something to react to. When I feel him going for that reaction here, then I'm going to change and put that in. That's a nice noise. Or I might be rolling, and just from my bong, I might just try a Chi Sau. I don't think I'm really going to get it in, but I'm encouraging him to go to that side so I can then change. But of course, any technique, you do need to be going for that. These are not false. It's like if we do Chi Sau techniques, I don't want to do a half-hearted pack and punch expecting that follow-up, because again, the only reason for that follow-up is because your first one wasn't good enough. So I need to do a good pack punch. If I've got all these in line and everything's precise, looks great, doesn't actually work, because in order to do that, we need to move out before I can pack. So yeah, I need to have this. If this was more relaxed, great, I can just pack from there. But what might happen from this, staying with the basics for too long, you might instill outward reaction before going back in. So I might move out before I go back in. And these are the kind of things we don't want to do. Basics are vital, they're super duper important. But when you've got them and they're in there, you've got to relax them. Because if you don't, those basics are really going to be a hindrance to you. So just because this is precise, as an absolute beginner, I would recommend that with packs, I want to hit him, but I need to move that before I can hit him, but I need to be close enough to move that before I can hit him. So as an absolute beginner, I would step, I would pack, I would punch, just to get used to this. The step, the pack, and the punch, but that's foolish. I step, I get hit. So I'm not going to do that. So I need to pack and punch at the same time. People believe they're doing the pack and punch at the same time, but actually the body's moving first. Trying to move all that mass forwards is kind of a giveaway. So then we start to almost set the pack off first, with the body following that. So that becomes the technique. Then you might even relax this so it goes straight forwards. But if you are doing it this way, it doesn't go out before it goes in. We had to do that as a beginner, but we needed to let go of that. If you're doing laps exercise and you've got a relaxed guard, again, before you can do anything, you're going to have to engage this. So I don't want you to do that. If I'm going to punch, say if I'm going to punch from here, We'll do it here. So I'm gonna punch and you just stop it with a hand, okay? So yeah, make sure you stop it.
Right,
Don't give me this. Good, again. Excellent. So again, I'm gonna punch, but now the difference is, if I use my elbow and just go forwards, then it's a lot harder because I'm not kind of engaging this, I'm not putting something in it. If I've got a relaxed hand and I'm used to this, I'm gonna have to engage it before I use it. So there's a little drill that is gonna combine the bong sau position, the lap understanding, and the guard, and this not telegraphing. This is the drill that I want you to try. So we're going to roll, first of all, with a bong lap fac sau, and then from there, I'm going to punch straight through the middle. So when I punch through the middle, and he goes to block that, he's going to turn, driving the elbow in. When I feel that turn, I'm going to turn lap fac sau. So you block it, please. Excellent. So from here, I'm going to punch straight through. Just a second, please. I'm going to punch straight through. When I feel him move to block, then I will lap fac sau. Please do block, if you want. Yeah, on everyone. No, because it's a drill. So the idea from here is I'm going to punch straight through. I punch, you turn to block, I react to that turn. So the 1, the 2, the 3. What I don't want to do, the worst way I could do this is to turn with the lap. Because if I turn, I'm going to pull that into it. I'm just going to pull your arm in. So that is not a good thing to do. So I'm kind of giving him that. Likewise, if I turn with this punch, I'm going to encourage that arm across. So he's going to feel this. So again, a non-telegraphed hit is just this. Boom. You block it, and then I will go with the lap fac sau. So from here, I just hit. He didn't block it, so I didn't do anything. If I feel him block, then I'll react. So I'm going to hit. That's it, I'm going forwards. If he turns to block, what happens is we then start to get into one big mishmash. Take your time with this, break it down. So at this point, there's not really a starting point to this because the punch that I'm doing down center was after the lap fac sau, but I'm not doing the lap fac sau until he blocks the punch down center, hence a drill. Again, it's one of those things, I've just made it up. So the idea is that as I punch through, well, I've not just made it up, but so I'm going to punch down center, not giving him anything away. If he doesn't block any of these, then I'm not going to stop. So that's the idea. I'm going for this. If he blocks it, then I'll turn lap fac sau. I'm going to punch. If he blocks it, I turn. I punch. I've got to stay in the moment. You notice I didn't turn then. I'm just going to punch. If it's blocked, great. I punch. I stop. Take your time. Stay in the moment. I punch. Take your time. Stay in the moment. I'll punch. That's all I'm going for, the punch. When it's blocked, when it's blocked, then we react. I punch. I punch. Whoop, missed the lap, don't care, I'm that good. Punch. So I punch every time, that's all I'm going for. If he blocks it, then I turn. So again, in slow, I'm just going to hit. A minute, I'm just going to hit, I'm not giving anything away. If I feel him begin to turn, then I'm going to catch that up and overtake it with a lap fac sau. I'm going to punch, that's it, punch. If he turns with the block, I turn lap fac sau. So punch, that's all I'm going for. Punch, lap fac sau, punch, lap fac sau, punch. Oh, you bugger, I felt a twinge.
One of the twinge.
So that's cool, no, that's good. So just punch and then lap. Just punch, if it's blocked, then lap. Punch, every time, just forwards. Just forwards. That's all you're thinking of. Straight forwards. That's it. I mean, obviously, if I hit and then he blocks, it's kind of irrelevant, you know, because you want to block the hit. So that's the idea. So again, to start with this, we can just roll, 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 and then just chuck in lap fac sau, and I'm going to punch through the middle without turning my body, without giving a signal with the other hand, without kind of telegraphing by rolling. I'm just going to hit. That's what I want to do. If it's blocked, then I follow this. So I'm just going to hit. Just a hit. Obviously, if I touch and it's in, that's fine. If he blocks it, then I need to follow up, and that's what we're looking at. Does that make sense?
Did I make it look sense?
Brilliant. Give it a go. The idea, remember, again, is not to telegraph. I don't want you giving anything away. That's the whole point. You know, doesn't have to be super fast. Never sacrifice technique for speed and power. That's the thing. Sometimes it's like my technique doesn't feel that good. It doesn't feel that good, right? So I'm going to speed up. Ah! But all you're doing there is speeding up that bad technique. You know, I'll put more power in, and even the technique gets even worse. Relax, focus, look at the technique, and then we know that we're in, then we've got it sorted. That's what we're looking at. It does become quicker, yeah. So I'm just focusing on that technique at that particular time. I'm doing a technique, I'm then going to focus on that technique at that particular time. I'm just going for the punch. If it's blocked, I turn. Just the punch, that's it, just the punch. Like so. But don't do a big move. The mistake that people tend to do with this drill is that they'll do a turning punch, thinking that, well, he's going to block it anyway, so I'm kind of ahead of him with that lap. You're only lapping what has been used to block the punch. So don't kind of get ahead of yourself. Take your time. Any questions? Cool. Thanks for listening to that. Cheers, Frank. Thanks for your help. Give it a go, guys. Nice one.